Let's talk about commands and entering commands in Rhino. Now, a command is nothing more than just telling Rhino what you want to do. I want to draw a line, I want to make a box, I want to draw a sphere, etc. So in Rhino there are 3 ways to enter commands. And the first way is to use the icons in the toolbox. So I can simply hover over one of these icons, and remember we have tooltips that will tell us what this does. I can click on the icon and I can then execute the command. So the command that we executed here was to draw a box. As you might be familiar with other programs, you can see with this little arrow here, if I click on this, I get more options here. Another interesting aspect of the toolbox are fly out menus. So I can right click on a menu, for example my solid creation menu. So I just right clicked on that and it opened up another little window. So if you find yourself creating certain things over and over, you can create separate fly out windows. You can have multiple of these open. For example, I can go here to curve, right click, and here I have a little fly out window for curves. And I can also just close them like this. A second way to enter commands is to use the menu bar. Some of these are more familiar to you, like File, Edit, View. Curve, Surface, Solid, Mesh, these might be new for you. The best way to approach this is to think about what it is you want to do. Do I want to open a file? Do I want to edit something? Do I want to do something that has to do with viewing, viewport, zooming, etc.? Do I want to create a curve? Let's say I want to create a line. I go to Curve, Line, Make a single line. One of my favorite aspects of Rhino is the command line. It makes it easy to discover new functionality, and it really speeds up your workflow. So instead of having to look through all these icons and find what you want to do, or go up to the menu and find where your line is, you could just start typing. Now there's no need to click into this little box here. You can just start typing. So let's create a line. I'm just going to start typing line and press enter. Now as soon as I do that, you'll see that I have a lot of functions here that I can add to creating a line. I can say I want to create my line on both sides. I want it normal to my geometry. I want it angled. So I can simply go into my viewport here and start clicking, and now it's going to say where's the end of the line, and I can just choose where I want the end of my line to be. I'm going to select my line and delete that. Let's do that again. So line, enter. Instead of just clicking randomly, I'm going to actually tell Rhino where I want the line to start. If I type in 0, it's going to automatically assume X, Y, and Z is 0. I'm going to press enter, and you'll see that Rhino has put a starting point at X equals 0, Y equals 0, and Z equals 0. And now I can just tell it where the end of my line is. Another great option in Rhino is the ability to repeat commands very quickly, and you can do this by pressing the space bar. So let's say I want to create a bunch of lines very quickly. So let's type in again line, enter, and I'm just going to create a line here. Now you'll notice that my grid snap is on, and you'll see if I zoom in, it's snapping to my grid. I can also turn that off, and this will give me freedom to ignore the grid. Let's turn the grid snap back on. So here's my line. Now if I want to repeat that command, I simply press spacebar and draw my next line, spacebar, draw my next line, etc. One more incredibly useful thing I want to point out in Rhino is the help function. It's here under your inspector panel, and this question mark, if I click it. Now anytime I start a command, this window is going to show me how that command works. For example, if I want to draw a circle, I left click on here, you will see that now this window will show you all your options for creating circles. It's telling you every step, so pick the center location. Let's go to our front view. Here's my center. And pick a radius, and I'm going to pick a radius. For some commands, the command help panel will even go so far as to show you a short video as to how to execute a command. So let's activate that. And let's try to draw a control point curve, which is here. And now you'll see that if I scroll down here, it's telling me exactly how to draw a curve. So let's zoom out a little here. So pick the start of the curve. Pick the next points. Here are my points. And press enter to end the curve.